Welcome back to another edition of Flex or Fade, Week 6, DraftKings main slate edition, as always, where we talk about player that each of us are either flexing, aka using in our rosters and our DFS slate, or fading, a guy that maybe a little bit, a sprinkle, but not much more than that, if at all. So this time we're sticking to receivers. If you haven't heard the Javon Baker one, we're doing receivers this week at the lower price tag. And today, Jaheim Bell is my flex. 4,300 on DraftKings, facing off my Virginia Tech Hokies. Strong Vegas total for them, sitting in the high 30s. I think it's around 38 right now. Jaheim Bell is just a playmaker to me. He's going to get some good targets, something around 5 or 6, like he's had three of the 4 games this year. He's had some rushing attempts, which maybe they lead into a little bit with Jordan Travis being banged up a few weeks back. I don't know if that's still lingering, but maybe that's a nice little possibility. But the interesting thing for him is, like, he seems a little gadgety, but he's got the third most routes run, third most targets. Like, he's run as many routes as Johnny Wilson, which is surprising to me. And I just think that it hasn't clicked fully yet from a passing perspective with him and Jordan Travis. And you just kind of wonder, Keon Coleman's special talent, but maybe it takes a little bit longer for him and Jaheim Bell to get connected. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, a $4,300 price tag with big upside for me in the running game. He's going to potentially have some usage. He's going to get 5 to 6 targets. So I think the upside is worth it at the price, but I certainly understand the other side of it where there's some risk here. He could disappear, but I think the risk is worth it to have him a decent bit in your DFS lineups on Saturday.
Yeah. So, we always tell each other that we see that side. There's a reason why we're talking about this guy as a little bit of a polarizing option this week, but I'm fading Jaheim Bell mainly because I don't love the way that he wins and the way that he needs to win to have a big game. We need him to find the end zone in his his big games this year against LSU week 1, 19.3 fantasy points, scored a touchdown. He actually scored 2. He scored one through the air and one on the ground. And then week 3 against Boston College, 18.6 fantasy points, scored a touchdown. In the 1 week that he played and he did not score a touchdown was Clemson, scored 5.5 fantasy points. So I really think that he needs touchdown equity to prove valuable. That's not a slam on him as a player because that's the case for most tight ends. Tight ends need to find the end zone to have a path to relevance. But even with the way that they use him, as a gadget type player, giving him runs, giving him the touches around the goal line, the wide receivers for Florida State this year just have a very similar skill set, and they win in the red zone with Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson. Both of those guys are big bodies who have the ability to be potential mismatches near the end zone. And I think that just really drives down his touchdown leverage and his ability to hold value for a fantasy lineup in that way. Now, if you're playing him in season long, or if you're playing him in a traditional dynasty lineup, I think that's fine because you have that built-in tight end spot for him to go, and he is a massive upside for a tight end. But on DraftKings, when we're getting him as a wide receiver, I really do think that neutralizes some of the juice that he has. 4,300 is not a bad price for him. I actually feel like he should be a little bit higher. He should be, between that 45 and 5K range, I believe. But this slate also has a ton of options for wide receiver. We're a little bit thinner at running back this week. And we just got news that Devontae Walker is going to be relevant and active for this week for North Carolina.
That's a low blow. That's unfair.
Ooh.
Valid point, but don't throw in Walker. That's unfair.
Ooh. Yeah, it literally just found out moments after Kay agreed to take Jaheim Bell's flex spot. So, it's about winning the game. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. And this week, I think to win the game, you have to fade Jaheim Bell. and play a few other options. I think, in my opinion, some better options. But we want to know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the Discord. Jump in there, and we are always game to talk shop. We love to toss around a few names and get some discussion to hear what the general public is thinking, and to hear what we personally think our NIL members are a little bit more sharp and in tune than the general public. So we have some pointed conversations there. But we love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to give us a tag and let us know your comments. But I hope you guys enjoy the game. We have a 12 game slate this week on DraftKings, so it should be plenty of fun.